And we're the Cleveland Browns.
When these dads meet world, watching Boy Meets World. We grew up on the show, now we have kids and host a podcast. We watch each episode and then share our thoughts and grades. When these dads meet world.
They want you to take the roles.
And we're the Cleveland Browns. Couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. Welcome back, good-looking people, to another tremendous episode of Dads Meet World, your weekly deep dive into that '90s classic known as Boy Meets World. I am dad number one this week, Tyler, and joined by always.
Punts. Dad number two, Brett.
Yes, we were discussing right before we started of the appreciation we have for a content creator who just keeps doing these Browns jokes and talking about who they are, and we just can't get enough of it. So we appreciate the hustle.
Oh yes, it's quite
But
enjoyable.
what we don't appreciate is really bad play call at the end of a game, though.
Very true.
Brett, would you like a soapbox?
Beyond, I can't stand Arthur Smith and his inability to call a game within the confines of the players that he has available to him, and Aaron Rodgers wanting to go 3 times straight to a receiver who is covered completely and can't make the play. No, I'm good.
Brett, I don't think you understand. See, he sits in his dark tank and he thinks about what he wants the game to look like. And if a guy's struggling, he wants to get the ball to his hands.
Yeah.
Also,
No.
he's married and he won't tell anyone about his bride.
Yeah, Aaron's kind of a weird dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly think he's one of those great examples of like, you know what? We don't need to know anything more about you. Just you throw the football and when you're done, just be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these football shows, sports shows, they're like, let's really get to know these athletes. And honestly, Brett, I think we've made a mistake. We know too many athletes. We know way too much about them. We need to
I
know less.
agree. There are a lot of athletes that we just know way too much about, and I think we've given too big of a stage to some.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. Although, did you hear Charles Barkley complaining about the NFL having games on Christmas?
I did not hear him complain about
Oh
that.
yeah, he was not happy at all because Christmas Day is an NBA day, and they should not have games on Christmas.
Well, for those of us who don't care about the NBA, too bad.
Yeah. Well, gosh, that's Brett. That's the problem. I love basketball, Brett. I love the game. I love it so much. I have not loved it since 2010, and it's one person's fault, Brett. It's one person's fault.
Amen.
So, I don't know. At least your city got a championship.
Yeah, we go on.
Yeah, it's a good thing there was a guy named Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brett, we have we need to get into an episode. But before we do, I think it's very important that you and I forget that we ever went to college. We have to suspend all understanding of academics, the way that the system of where people live, how people live, all those things need to fly out the window because if we get boggled into real life, this episode falls apart. And it's a good episode and it can't fall apart that much.
Yeah, there's a lot of suspension of disbelief that needs to happen when it comes to the realities of college living.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. So we're gonna take that and set it aside. I might grumble a little bit here and there, but we'll just say that right up front.
Right. Literally, Brett, all they have to do was just move the date of from November to January, and everything makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I can buy every single storyline if you're talking back no like January, new semester, yada yada. But everything happening in November is a bunch of malarkey.
Amen.
But Brett, episode has to episode, so let's find out, Brett.
I really should be wearing my episode's got an episode shirt for this one.
Yes. That is very accurate today.
Too bad it's upstairs in my dresser. Anyway, well, good looking people, we are talking about episode 9 of season 7. The honeymoon is over, wherein Cory and Topanga realize they are on their own when Sean moves into the girls' apartment and Cory's parents refuse to take them in. This episode was written by Barry Safchik. This is the last of 4 episodes that he has written for the series. He also wrote Starry Night and In Case I Don't See Ya and Can I Help to Cheer You. This episode was directed by Jody Binstock. Originally aired November 19th, 1999, just 1 week after The Honeymooners. And currently enjoys an 8.1 on IMDb. That's a half point higher than The Honeymooners. And as far as the Nielsen numbers go, last episode, we had a 12.01. This one was down a little bit to 11.50. So, with all of that table setting and all of our grumbling and complaining about living situations, and I'll say this. I had a little bit more brain cells in my head when I got married to my bride in college. I got married with a semester left. Instead of rushing it into the end of a semester, we were smart. We got married in between semesters. We got married in January. It was not right at the end in November and December. It was not in the middle of finals week. It was between semesters where we knew we would have time to do everything and where we wouldn't be I wouldn't have to try to force classwork into everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our living situation figured out ahead of time. But, got a little bit more common sense there. But with that out of the way and all the tables set, Tyler, it's all yours.
Well, let's do this different, Brett, because we've been doing this show for how many years now, and we always do it the same exact way. The first scene essentially boils down to 3 separate times where Cory and Topanga show up at a place going, "We're going to stay here," and the people just simply say no.
No.
Right. For various of reasons. I think they're all, except for one, very valid. And we can talk about that. Also, Brett, I will agree with you that the number one thing when it comes to getting married is where you gonna live.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what bothers me is that it seems like everyone was under the impression that they were living somewhere else. And so can we just I don't know, it's almost like you have to assume that someone tried to say to them, "Hey, did you think about this? Hey, what's happening?" And the assumption is just we're gonna go move into the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Which
yeah,
is
there was no conversation that happened amongst anyone about who was going to go where.
Right.
Topanga was not involved with the conversation about Sean moving in to the apartment. no one was involved with the conversation of where Cory and Topanga going to live
Mm-hmm.
if Topanga's supposedly going to move out, and we're assuming she's going to move out. No one was brought into the conversation of what's going to happen to the dorm room if Cory's going to be moving out, which he's going to have to because, you can't be bringing a girl to live in the dorm with Cory and Sean. So what's going to happen to Sean? And, that's all of this conversation just never happened. It never happened on screen, never happened off screen.
Right. Yeah, and that's maybe part of the frustration I know we could easily have on this. Because honestly, the place that makes most sense for Cory and Topanga to move into would be the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It's already established. Topanga's already living there. Cory technically has a key back from when his brother moved in, or just we forgot about that. And so,
Mm-hmm.
all in all, like it would make sense that Cory and Topanga would move into Topanga's room,
Mm-hmm.
and the girls just have the two of them living there. Even if Sean also moves into that room with Angela, I mean, sure.
It honestly makes as much sense to have Cory move into the apartment as it does to have Sean move in.
Correct. It would make as much sense for Rachel to move out and for the two couples to live in the apartment together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that might be part of the part that bugs me is that like the rationalness of people just moving things around. But this is the way they've always done it, Brett. They've literally always done it where they just kick people out, they move people around, they shuffle around, and who cares?
Everyone gets
Again,
kicked out of that apartment.
we never really established where they all live in the summertime either.
Yeah. And it's really interesting that Topanga is the whole reason that the girls have this apartment.
Yes.
And here she is 9 episodes later getting kicked out. 8 episodes later getting kicked out.
Yeah. 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 Also, this is probably my least favorite version of Sean because he assumes everything's going great and it's so exciting because they're married. We can talk more about that apartment situation later. But yeah, just this initial, the girls say, "Hey, you said you're moving out, so Sean's moving in." You know, the one boyfriend is moving in, and he's definitely going to stay in his own bedroom.
Oh, definitely.
Well, we'll get into that for next episode. But when we get to the next place, it's Cory's dorm room, which in semester he still would have the right to that dorm room unless the university kicks him out and removes all his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. But there's
No.
Jack and Eric, or Sean, oh my gosh, Eric and Jack saying, "Yep, you're out of here because this is where we're living now." Because apparently the dorm room that they were living in, the girly dorm room, that's now where the triplets are.
Yeah, that there's just no. Why would the triplets take a 2-bed dorm room? Why would the triplets take a 2-person dorm room
Huh?
mid-semester, almost near the end of the semester?
Yeah.
And see, these are the hoops that we have to jump through, people.
Yes. This is why headcanon, I'm like, this is all happening in January. It's January. It's the first week after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's all I know. So yeah, so they say, "Oh yeah, the school knows because we turned you in for being married, so now you can't live here legally."
Mm-hmm.
And all of this stuff is
Which
like, I think they should get a lawyer.
which is a very sly move on Eric and Jack's part.
Yes. Also, Eric spent the last 2 weeks not at school either.
Yes, and apparently he did not get eaten by those by those individuals down in paradise.
Yes. I
Or
don't know.
die from the poisonous bird bite.
Yes. It's a magical world that they live in, this hyper realistic world. Um, but then we get to what I'll call the heart of the episode, Brett, and that is Cory and Alan's interactions,
Mm-hmm.
because these conversations are loaded.
Yes, they are.
The emotional weight of every word they say to each other, the blows they have this episode, in and of itself is worth watching the episode for. Just
Mm-hmm.
these scenes that he has.
Yeah,
Um,
they left a long. I as a teenager viewing it, I couldn't get on board with Alan. As an adult viewing it, I'm on board with Alan all the way.
the funny thing is I was watching this with Sarah and Grayson, and all I could think to myself is, I think Grayson thinks Alan's a giant jerk, and I'm now looking at Cory like, you're being a giant whiny baby. Figure it out.
Mm-hmm. This is your life, Cory.
Yeah. So yeah, they have a very hard conversation, and at first we think Amy is going to say, "Hey, let's let them temporarily come live with us." Which, Brett, I think if they had before the wedding said to Amy and Alan, "Hey, can we temporarily move in with you guys and just use the one room? Like, can we make that our room for a little bit so we can figure things out before the next semester?" And I think if they had done that, that would be different than them saying, fix the problem.
Very possibly.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I've known people who have moved back in, like, they just continue to live at home with their spouse, and just, but that's what they agreed upon beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And Alan and
um,
Amy may have taken them up on that offer, and maybe even charge them a little bit of rent for the room, and
yeah,
set that even set that aside to give them when they're ready to move out after the semester as a down payment on an apartment or something.
yeah, seems very reasonable. But Brett, by far the worst parents in this whole episode is Jedediah and Brianna.
Mm,
They do nothing to help them whatsoever.
absolutely, they're back in Pittsburgh.
There's not even like a end of a phone call. Oh, sorry, Kitty. Um, like an end of a phone call where Topanga's like, "Well, my parents say they're completely tapped out because of the wedding cost and honeymoon, so they can't help us whatsoever." Like, just give us
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. And we know they didn't pay anything for the wedding. That was all Eric and
Yeah,
PJ. What's his face?
Mr.
Henderson,
Peterman.
Peterman, EJ Peterman.
He's a little guy who doesn't tip. Um, so yes, so Cory Topanga, they have nowhere to live. Where do they go? Well, the student union, of course.
Oh yes, that makes perfect sense. We'll just sleep
Yes.
here.
So they're going to go to the student union where they discuss that they are white. How do they describe themselves? White middle class college students who are homeless. I wouldn't feel bad for us, but we're us.
Yeah. Yeah, upper middle class homeless college students. There's no pity factor for them.
Oh yes, and so Brett, or Sean shows up and he's all excited for them. Hey, you guys are married! It's so great.
It's so great we kicked you out of our apartment. It's so great.
Right, right.
Sean is just so oblivious.
Yes. I mean, I get it. There is excitement to it. Like when Sarah and I first got married, we were in our apartment that we established before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. We started decorating things before we got married. It was wonderful. Um, uh, it's just like you have to have those things before you get married.
Yes. Yeah, we had an apartment set up and ready to go before we got married. Actually, Kelly had the apartment ready to go, and I just moved in.
Hmm. Yeah, I moved in as well after we got married. I was still living at college before then. But anywho, so they get news that apparently one of the what they just refer to as the married couple dorms, there's an opening.
Mm-hmm. A
Okay,
very
cool.
dark reason for the married couple dorm opening.
Yes. Honestly, Brett, can we both just agree if at this school there is an official family slash married apartment building, that there probably would be openings like consistently, like they're probably never truly fill.
I would agree. I'd also want to point out they probably would not be nearly as run down as we're shown because that's housing code violations left and right.
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean,
That's like
the,
slumlord level of housing.
yes, and I mean, they're trying to make a visual point of they're married now. They have to solve their own problems. They're in a darker place than they thought they were going to be.
Mhm.
I get the metaphor. The visual is great. However,
Yeah,
it's a university housing. That's illegal.
just a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like I do like the imagery that they want to put out there of having their first place be such a fixer upper
Yeah.
that they have to make it a home.
Yeah.
Take it from this real dump and make it a home.
Yeah. Which I almost wish they could have just been like, "Hey, great news! There's a really cheap apartment. Yada yada."
It's
They
right
say
next to campus.
right next to campus. Right.
A
That would
lot
make
of married
way
couples
more
live right
sense.
there off campus. Yeah, it would have made a lot more sense to have it just be right next to campus.
Right, but not officially Penbrook.
Maybe it was an old dorm that was converted to an apartment building that Penbrook
I
just sold off, you know?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we should have wrote for the
I
show,
see.
Brett.
I see dead people.
Yes, a nice, great reference to the Sixth Sense in the '90s.
Some good bloopers, too.
Yes, some great bloopers. Brett, let me ask you. You've watched a couple M Night movies. What's your favorite M Night movie?
Uh, it'd have to be The Sixth Sense or Unbreakable.
I had a feeling you'd say
Depends on what I'm in the
Unbreakable.
mood for. If when it comes down to the twist ending, you can't beat The Sixth Sense. But as far as a full on experience, Unbreakable is probably right there.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like based on when I was growing up, I want to say like the movie Signs was way more embedded into my childhood. Of the
Mm.
creepiness
It's up there.
factor.
It's
Yep.
up there. There's a lot of really good imagery and metaphor in there.
Yep. Also, the way that Scary Movie 3 parodies that movie is quite wonderful.
His last one with Hutcherson was really good, really well done
Hmm,
too.
interesting.
Was it? Is it Trap?
That would make sense. I don't know.
Yeah,
Though I
Josh.
will say, uh, Devil by far is also
Oh
one
yes,
of my faves.
that one was that was an interesting ride.
Yeah, I like a good murder mystery, and nothing nothing shocked me more than who the murderer was.
Yeah, I've actually seen that one a couple of times.
It's been a while since I watched it. Sarah and I both watched it because she's a Shyamalan fan, and so she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll give it a shot." When the reveal hit, she goes, "I don't like this. I don't like this at all." We need to watch something happy now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It takes
Yep.
that dark turn.
Uh, Speaking of happy, Brett, this apartment is not a happy place.
No, it is not. The whole building is just people yelling at each other and
Hmm Uh,
just.
we we do meet a neighbor.
We do. We meet Kelly, played by Marisol Nichols. This is the first of two times we'll see her on Boy Meets World.
Unfortunately,
She has 58 acting credits, including Beverly Hills 90210, ER, Scream 2, Can't Hardly Wait, Alias, Friends, CSI 24, Private Practice, NCIS, Spiral, Riverdale, and more.
I wonder who she played in Spiral. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember without looking it back up.
That's all right. Yeah, so we meet this neighbor, which I kind of wish we would have seen her more of, but whatever.
It would have been good to have her recurring as that neighbor who stops by every couple of episodes just to build something with them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like her. She's like, "Oh yeah, my husband's in residency right now." I'm like, "You should be actually making real money then, not just
Yeah,
being a
if he's in
broke college
residency,
student."
then yeah.
But oh well. Um, I like how we then go to class and we think, "Oh, it's going to be a normal, regular class," and the two of them look like they've been run over by multiple cars.
Oh yes, Feeny actually cancels the class on account of pathetic.
Yes. I've never had a professor just stop a class before.
I can't say that I ever did either, especially not for pathetic.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so Feeny tries to talk to them, and they are throwing so many insults at him. They have
Hold him
no
down. I'll get
polish to
his
them
wallet.
whatsoever.
How much could he have on him? $12 and a
It's
Blockbuster card.
in a blockbuster. They're insulting his net worth. They're insulting his wisdom as a fortune cookie. I mean, I won't lie, Brett. They do make a good point. He has a three-bedroom house that he and retired Dean Bolander live at.
Yes, and he could bring up a very clear reason why he could not take them in here, bringing Dean Bolander into the picture, and he doesn't.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know.
I think probably
Me.
the most frustrating part of their interaction with Feeny is that he doesn't, with as much as he has imparted to them over the years, he does remain vague
Mm-hmm.
as to any real guidance to them beyond persevere. He doesn't give them anything concrete to do, to hold on to. And I would have liked to see him either call them out on not being prepared or give them some practical application for what they need to do in their situation.
Yeah.
Beyond just persevere. Like, even something as simple as you have a home, this is your home.
Mm-hmm.
When I started out with my wife, our home was the same. Your home is what you make of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have seen something a little more, with a little more weight to it than the fortune cookie.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like they don't want them to get it just yet,
Mm-hmm.
which is a shame. The problem is that we're dealing in a still hyper reality world where the main goal is funny.
Very true.
So,
We
and
can't
speaking
have
of the
them
funny,
learn before they get to Alan.
yeah, and speaking of the funny, Brett, we get to see what Jack and Eric have been up to because apparently he wasn't in paradise with them. Jack and Eric apparently helped a couple triplets move into the dorm, and they are now counting them because Rachel is jealous.
I like to count them. 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, and
So we know
apparently the
Eric can at
girls,
least count to 3.
yeah, the girls, they say that they owe them, and so um, they want to find a third guy because the girls always do everything together, which is
Yeah,
super weird and awkward.
just a little bit.
And so I just like how Eric just picks a random guy and says, "Hey, you want to go on a date with one of these hot girls?" He goes, "Yeah, as long as my brothers can come with me." Because
And
apparently
it's
there's
a
another
set
set
of
of triplets on
triplets.
campus.
No, no, no.
Where are they going? To the party. And now they go back to Rachel because, Brett, how Jack and Eric have been ignoring Rachel, their really close friend. Now they're back to being the three of them.
Oh, yes. I like to count them myself.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 2 of them are sad.
Yes. Yeah. It really feels like they didn't know what to do with Rachel after the wedding.
They really didn't. She had no job. She had no romantic relationship. They had nothing for her. She had no
Hmm.
foil. She wasn't anyone's foil. She wasn't the object of pursuit for anyone. There was nothing for her.
Yeah. That's
They brought her
unfortunate.
on to be they brought her on the show to spice things up, and there was no spice for her to be spicing about.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like they pigeonholed themselves because now they have to have these seven characters all doing something every single episode.
Mm-hmm.
So the amount of shenanigans they have to figure out how to get everyone in is just kind of ridiculous, and why the Jack and Eric slash Rachel again stuff is just always all over the place.
Let's see, if they didn't force her to stay in the apartment with the girls, they could have written her out really easily, but they forced her to stay in the apartment with the other 2 girls, and they forced their own hand to keep her under contract.
They did. I don't know. I mean, I still think she does a great job with what little she gets to do.
Yeah.
Um, yes, but we go back, Brett, to Sean thinking that the married dorms must be pretty sweet, must be pretty nice.
Well, he's never been there.
Yeah, I mean,
In his mind, they're probably pretty well maintained, and you get to live there with your spouse and just go to class, go home, play house, go to class, go home, play house.
which is not wrong. That's not a bad thing to think because I mean, for a lot of like the schooling that I know of, like mostly grad schooling and like seminaries, those type of places, they have designated places for married and families to live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that outrageous for Eric or for Sean to assume that is actually pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't really want to go into the details of it, but mostly just Topanga's upset. She rucks away crying, and Cory's, trying to just make clear that he is failing his wife, and he knows it. He doesn't know how to make it better right now, but he knows he needs
Mm-hmm.
to do something. Which is why I want us to get into this scene, Brett. Because Cory says to Sean that the two of them can't solve this problem. He has to fix it. To which he goes to his father so they can have a heart to heart, man to man conversation. And I love the visual of Amy on the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
They could have had Amy not in the scene whatsoever, but I think there's so much power of her sitting there, and in the scenes in the back, you can see her still sitting there.
Yep.
But basically, Cory says, "We're drowning. I need your help. Can you please step in? This is not me asking. I'm asking for my wife. Please help us."
Yeah, because Corey's finally come to understand that his role as a husband is different from his role as a boyfriend or even as a fiance. And he's realized one of the things that he said to Sean that really stands out is that he's been married for 1 week and he can't protect his wife, and that love can't get us through everything or through
Mhm.
anything. And I mean, he's finally hit rock bottom, and his eyes have been open. He's finally hit that point where he doesn't know where else to turn, and he's just grasping at straws, looking for any external fix
Mhm.
to what he perceives to be the problem.
Well, and for Cory in the past, when he has hit a point of no return, he knows he can go to his parents and they can solve most of his problems for him.
Mm-hmm.
All he has to do is come to them and ask. And Alan says no.
Yep. He actually says he can't.
Yeah. I,
He
I, I
can't, and he
love,
won't.
yeah, I love what he says. Let me pull that up exact. Because Cory's like, yes, I'm glad you're coming around. He goes, I'm not coming around. Um, Cory just says, uh, we're drowning. There's soup coming out of the faucet. What do you call that? And he says, marriage. I call it marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I like that description of there's problems all over the place. Things are constantly breaking. What do you call that? Marriage.
Yeah.
And I just like how he says it's hard. It's like, so you want me to make it not so hard? That's what you're supposed to do. And how heartbreaking, Brett, do you think it has to be for Alan to say, I can't?
Mm-hmm.
Then what good are you? I I will say, it's been a long time since I really watched through these scenes and gave a critical look to it. And I used to be in Corey's shoes. I see a lot of what Alan's saying now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's hard to wrap my head around. But I'm gonna read Brett what Alan has to say. But do you want to say anything else before I get there?
Oh no, just let his words flow.
You made a choice. You decided you were old enough to get married. You decided to take responsibility of a new life because you believe you could handle it. And this family supported that decision after we told you it was going to be very difficult. Did you think we were kidding? Did you get into this marriage thinking that you were going to play house and that you were going to get bailed out of trouble? This is your life. Deal with your life. hardest part about that scene, I do believe, Brett, is when Cory says all you had to say was no. And that's not true. Alan said
No,
no. Alan said no many times, and Cory wasn't listening.
exactly. Alan had to say what he said because Cory wasn't listening to no.
Yeah.
Cory needed to hear what Alan had to say, and it's still Cory still isn't hearing it.
Yeah. The thing I like about this episode, Brad, and why I can move past a lot of the minutia of how we needed to get to this scene is this scene is so powerful.
Mhm.
And the character of Cory is face to face with the responsibility. And I love that Alan makes very clear it's not my problem to fix, it's yours.
Mhm.
Find a way to fix it. I will say, before, it was a couple weeks before we officially moved in, and I just remember my dad, I said, "Hey, I need to grab a tool." He goes, "Oh, just come by the store," because at the time he was still working at True Value. And all of a sudden, he just started handing me, "Well, you'll need this tool. You'll need this tool. You'll need this tool. You'll need this tool." And I'm like, "Why are you handing me?" And he just goes, "Trust me, you're gonna need these." I just said, "Okay." The blue hammer that I was handed by my dad on that day is still the hammer I choose to use on almost every project I'm doing. And I treasure that hammer because it's been with me at every single move we've had, through every single weird apartment situations, and it's been very good to me.
Mhm.
It's those tools that we don't always know we need until we need them, and it's our responsibility to take care of it. So,
Yep.
and we get to our last scene, Brett, where Topanga made a sandwich. And Cory tells her, "I love you." And Topanga pulls a Han Solo and says, "I know." Interesting choice of word,
Yes,
but it's a nice, powerful moment where the two of
it
them are
is.
just sitting there at their place, eating food together.
Yes, it's very quiet, very powerful. It speaks volumes.
Yeah, it
This
does.
is their life.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the next episode kind of ruins this, but
A little bit, but
yeah,
we'll get there when we get there.
we'll get there. But Brett, other than really adorable outtakes, that's our episode.
It is, yeah. So, Tyler, do you have any deep dives for us?
Oh, sure.
People, 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 people. Am I the only one who read the summer reading list?
All right, so housing options. Couples without children are primarily assigned to premium student studio or and one bedroom apartments. Most of the one bedroom apartments are located in blah blah blah. There is limited number of one bedroom apartments. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, they qualify by being legally married, legal domestic partners, or supporting documents. There are 7 years or 7 years removed from high school. So I was just mostly looking at it like, so what's the deal for couples who want to move in together and all that jazz? So it's pretty common that most universities have policies and specific locations for them, but certain words like premium studios.
Yes.
Yeah. I would never trust a university that has slums.
No. They certainly wouldn't advertise it.
Yes. But Brett, institutions such as colleges and universities are required to have safety and security and certain standard of living. Um, the couple is then required to, do things like follow the rules and clean up after themselves and not make a bunch of damage and make sure you respect quiet hours. Managing the amount of visitors you have and being respectful to others. But they're not required to completely gut and renovate apartment.
I'm painting the
So,
apartment yellow. I'm such a happy fellow.
da-da-da. Sixth Sense, Brett. We already talked about that. Came out in 1999, PG-13. Directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan. Starred Bruce Willis, Haley Joel Osment, Toni Collette. Follows Bruce Willis as a child psychologist as he tries to help a young lad understand his problems. And we get the famous line, I see dead people. With an 8.2 IMDb rating, Brett, it's considered one of the classic 1999 movies. And has several nominations for the Academy Awards. Oh, yeah. Hey, Brett, Blockbuster used to be a thing. You remember that?
I vaguely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Blockbuster was a movie rental store. Uh, it was formed in 1985 and lasted to 2010. And I believe that the actual last store just closed down. Oh, wow, it's 5 years ago in January 31st, 2020. That's sad. Yeah, was at one point the leading movie rental business. It's really surprising that it was only formed in 85. You would have thought it was around a lot longer for the way people talked about it. So, I didn't have a Blockbuster near me growing up. We had more family chain places.
Yeah, we had Family Video and a couple other ones that were closer
Mhm.
to us than Blockbuster.
All right. A fortune cookie, Brett. It's a crispy sugary cookie wafer with flour, sugar, vanilla, sesame oil. You get it with the Chinese takeout, although the origins apparently comes from Japan in the 19th century in Kyoto, Japan. But it got big whenever immigrants started selling them in San Francisco in the 1900s. So fun. Not as old as you think.
Nope.
Brett, let me ask you a question. How likely is it to have natural triplets who are identical?
I don't think it's very likely.
Yeah. 1 in 200 million.
I'd say that's not very likely.
Yes.
Bloody likely.
And to have them be also dating identical triplets, I feel like would also be a very intense number. But we don't got time to get into that. I will say with IVF, it has increased the amount that often people will have triplets, quadruplets, quintuplets, all that jazz. Had lots of reality shows in the late 2000s because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and I guess that's the only thing I have at deep dives. So, Brett, the last thing I want to make sure I communicate out is parenting is hard, and apparently, not fixing things becomes a very difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So, those
Amen.
are the deep dives, Brett.
All right. So let's talk about what we learned.
You know anything about the Odyssey? Huh? Did I say you could talk?
I didn't teach you that.
My friend Mr. Matthews will lead the discussion.
Do I have to draw you a picture?
What did we learn? Well, I learned that tough love can be tough for both the giver and the receiver. And I've had to give and receive tough love. And it always hurts to see it being given. It always hurts to receive it, but it's necessary sometimes. So as much as, like I said, when I was a teenager, I was on Cory's side. As an adult, I'm on Alan's side. Tough love is necessary at times.
Yeah.
So that's my lesson for the day. What about you?
I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said, Brett, and that is, if people are coming to you for advice, try to give real advice and make clear, if you can relate to them, how you can relate to them. I agree, because Feeny easily could have communicated something about when he and his first wife got married, how they were both new teachers and they were in a really bad school district, had no money, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they had to do another job on top of it or something. Make clear that they had struggles too and they got through it. And
Yep.
you know I know the payoff for this lesson won't come until next episode, but perseverance is not the advice I would have given.
Yeah. Persevere and your reward shall come.
Yeah.
No.
But I do like that advice of, this is marriage. It's marriage. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah, it's not playing house. This is real life. This is marriage.
Yeah. I don't know. Should we get to grades, Brett?
We should.
I'm right.
No, you're exactly right.
So am I done with my education? Can I go?
So how would you grade The Honeymoon's Over?
Well, Brett, I have to take half of my brain out so I can forget that this is all happening in November and accept that timeline wise, maybe in the way it's being told back, head canon, it's not date to date. I have to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to kill somebody, and I don't want that. A little dramatic. Probably should cut that. uh, Anywho, so for me, I believe that this episode is better than last week's episode, which I believe last week I gave an A- to. I don't think it's a perfect episode because that whole timeline thing really bothers me. But the emotional weight of this episode, Brett, hits me in the gut and reminds me of where I was in 2013 13, and remember what life was like when literally we had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of just hope we'd survive. And Wendy's was a beautiful treat that we could have. Just the Frosties.
The Frosties.
Mm-hmm. So for that reason, I can't give it an A+ because of things, but I can give it a solid A.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with a B+.
That's fair.
I'd like to give it an A, but there are just I can't get away from the hoops that I got to jump through to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the emotional weight is good. The heft to it, the lessons that are trying to be communicated, even though they're not being caught, are important. The acting is on point for a lot of it. It's something that we didn't really broach is that Ben Savage actually does a really well-deserved turn as a new husband who is at the end of his rope.
Yeah.
And so I didn't give him his flowers during our episode proper, but you know, they're here. But there's just so many hoops to jump through. So it's a B+ for me. So dad jokes, you got some for me before we turn this puppy out?
Do, and I was doing some cleaning, and look what I found, Brett. It's my official dad joke book. All right, you ready for this, Brett?
I am ready.
What is the biggest pencil in the world?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Here are a couple of text messages that I've gone through. Dad, how did you feel about going on a cruise? A holiday cruise? Great. We can start at Christmas Island and go to Easter Island. I don't know how I feel about that one. Why does the Statue of Liberty stand in New York Harbor?
Because there's nowhere to sit.
Because you can't sit down. All right. Ooh, let's go with this one, Brett. Last one. In what city will you find the most cows?
I want to say Moo York.
It is Moo York. Those are some dad jokes, and this has been an episode of Dad's Meatworld.
All right. Well, thank you, good-looking people, for sticking around with us for another week and for joining us on our journey back into Boy Meets World after our break with Christmas episodes. If you want to leave us your thoughts, you can on social media at Dad's Meet World across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find us on YouTube if you're not already watching us there at Dad's Meet World. And you can send us an email at dadsmeetworld@gmail.com. We're always looking forward to hearing you. And by the way, I'd just like to share some interesting information. We showed up on at number 16 on FeedSpot's list of best two dad podcasts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's that. But until next time, good-looking people, I'll see you.
Back to you, good looking.
I want to be normal, bud. You know, how can I learn so much every week and still be so stupid? Was that duckies? No, garbage. Oh, I am never gonna pee again. Ow, that hurt.
Dad's Meet World is a production of Headfirst Studios. Headfirst Studios. Tell your story.